Well, welcome to NAED's Western Region Conference. A little bit about NAED, the National Association of Electrical Distributors. Our home base is St. Louis, home of the world famous St. Louis Cardinals and St. Louis Blues. Lovely picture of our riverfront. So we've been around since 1908, so we've been around a long time. Have about 40 employees. It covers the foundation, NAED, as well as TED Magazine. Okay, so this is the session, Mapping Road to Success with NAED, so I hope you're in the right spot. And today we're going to talk about some of the industry trends and issues that are top of mind and how NAED can help you build those strategies, talk about them a little bit more. But first, let's introduce our speakers today. My name is Erica Tenike, and I am the Research and Development Manager for NAED. So all the research that is produced from NAED usually comes across my desk, and we do a lot of different kinds of things, benchmarking, in-depth research reports, as well as webinars, articles, anything related to the industry. We want to be your source. So how do you reach your destination? As working for your company, you have to make all kinds of day-to-day decisions, lots of options to evaluate. You have to look at different internal and external resources to help make those decisions. And we at NAED want to be one of those resources that you turn to. So, can we help you prepare your roadmap? Yes, absolutely. We try to do lots and lots of different things that are and address the issues that are going to impact your business. So, and help build those strategies for you. So we do talent development tools, recruitment and retention tools, education, as Catherine mentioned, the NLC with training and courses, research, providing some information for you, news, TED Magazine provides that on a daily basis as well with their monthly publication, and then data. We want to make sure that you have the most up-to-date data to help drive your bottom line and make those decisions. And I have strategy at the bottom of this slide, and that's because we want to help you build your strategies. And NAED, we've also been thinking about our future and how to build our own strategy to ensure our future success. So we developed and implemented our own strategic plan. And this is the final publication. This is what we are driving all of our research and resources. Our vision, and I'll just go ahead and read our mission statement to you, because this is what really underpins our development and our resources. To promote the electrical distribution channel and to provide members with the most valuable and relevant tools, solutions, and information so they can thrive now and in the future. To help with those, to help us be successful in that mission, we've also have 4 priorities that we're taking a look at, really to underpin that mission even further. Priority 1, training a successful workforce. Who here has trained a successful workforce and has cracked the code to recruitment and retention? Yeah. That's one of the things that we want to bring to you, one of those resources. Priority 2, bringing together the best minds in the industry to solve common problems. This is one of the favorite parts of my job, is because I get to talk to a lot of our members about the issues that they're dealing with, how they can overcome them, and provide some solutions to membership about those problems and concerns, as well as the opportunities that come down our way. Priority number 3, building an appreciation of our members' value. You have a lot to bring to the table, and we want to make sure your channel partners know that, or are reminded of that, of what you can offer them. And priority number 4, clearly articulating our value and becoming more accessible to members. So we want to provide lots of information, and we want to make sure that you have a good, easy way to get to it, whether it's through our website, contacting our member services, so ways that you can get this information when you need it. So in our corner of the world at the NAED Foundation, some of the ways that we help with our mission are what I call strategic stops. So today I'm going to be talking about research, data, and technology. Allison will talk about recruitment and retention, and Catherine will talk about our educational resources. So let me dive right in. Why is research so important? It's so important because it needs to keep you updated on the latest news, market trends, legal issues, sales issues, anything that can impact your bottom line and your business and the success of your company and your employees. We want to make sure it serves as a guidepost for those strategic decisions as we keep thinking about the future and building those frameworks so we can be ready for anything. Also, as I said, providing those industry benchmarks so you can compare yourself with that of your peers. Right? Make sure you're heading in the right direction, and if you're not, being able to have those conversations and adjust as need be. So we do a lot of different things with our research department. When I started with NAED 7.5 years ago, we worked on 2 projects at a time. This is everything that we've released in the last year. So we've been very, very busy. A couple things I wanted to point out was the Dve Compliance. And that talks about and DBE is just the umbrella term that we use when talking about those types of industries. And I bring it up because we're having a roundtable with the author of this white paper tomorrow, Ronald Rucker, right after the general session. So I invite you to pop in and he'll be able to answer any questions that you might have about that. I also mentioned we talk about market opportunities. Lots of talk around DC power last year or two, so we wanted to dive into that and see how that could be a benefit to the industry and what are some of the opportunities and challenges that might come your way because of it. Merging sales forces. Actually, our next session is going to talk about this. We have the researcher here that dives a little bit more into the study. And this takes a look at trends that are going to impact the way your sales structure and your sales organization might look. So for example, it took a look at demographics and how people buy things and disruptive technologies, and not only going to impact what you sell, but probably how you sell. You're going to have more inside salespeople, more outside salespeople, what that picture might look like. So he's going to discuss that a little bit more. You can also read about it in the white paper. With recruitment and retention such a hot topic, I just wanted to make mention of our employee compensation survey and report. We do this every other year, and it actually includes 2 reports. One is NAED distributors have responded talking about their benefits and salaries that they give their people. And then the second component is actually a cross-industry reference. So depending on sales title, you can look that up by region and what people pay that certain sales role and function in that particular region. So that's available through our member services. And finally, I just wanted to mention our PAR report. That is our financial benchmarking survey. That's probably our most popular report, and that really helps you understand your bottom line in comparison to your peers. Not only do we have results for NAED member distributors overall, but it breaks it down by sales volume, customer emphasis, and those kinds of things. Okay, so actually that survey is going to open on Wednesday, so look for more details on that. Okay. Any questions so far? No? Okay. I know it's after lunch. I'm going to keep the energy going, okay? They had coffee in here. That helped. So we take a deep dive into some of those topics. We also like to take snapshots of the industry to see how people are feeling about things. So every year we do a state of the industry, and this survey is sent out to our senior leadership to see how they're feeling about the economy overall, the industry's economy, where you might be spending your money, what you're going to focus on, maybe some surprises and disappointments of the last year. So the latest version of that will be coming out probably in the next couple weeks. Researcher back home is putting the final touches on that report. The other one I wanted to mention was the market overview, and this is something that we do every year as well. This just talks about the products that you sell and who they sell them to. It also includes just a very broad forecast of what the industry is going to look like in the scheme of things. So that survey is open now, and we expect to release that report probably at the end of March. So it's a good thing we're focusing on data and technology because it really feeds into our research priorities and what we're taking a look at for people. So one of the things that we glean from our reports and our surveys are what people are talking about, what's concerning them, what are they interested in. And the Internet of Things tends to be one of those topics that comes up again and again and again. So we're taking a deeper look at that. And then we go into why is this important, why do we need to take a look at it, and we came up with this gem of a statistic. So in 2013, there were about 10 billion objects, connected devices. In 2020, it's expected to be at least 30 billion connected devices. So what does that mean for us? What does that mean for the electrical distribution industry? Well, that talk of the Internet of Things feeds into this idea of big data and data analytics, right? Because all that feeds into each other. So what does this mean? How can this impact your bottom line, and what's it going to mean for your business? So we do work with a lot of consulting agencies who specialize in these areas, and this is a report we just produced, Leveraging Your Data, Promises and Pitfalls of Big Data Analytics, and this is hot off the presses. This was released about 2 weeks ago. I think we're going to make the formal announcement this week that it's going to be ready to go. So this takes a look at just the scope of things, where we're at with big data and analytics, what kind of opportunities it holds for you, how you can start integrating into your business strategies. So it really takes a good broad view of what this can mean for you. So like I said, we want to take a snapshot of things. So the promises of big data are pretty big. So this is the results of the survey that we did in conjunction with that project, and it's great. It can improve your strategic decision making, improve efficiency, improve processes, optimize your inventory turn. So it's promises to really change the game, really help you with things. However, We take a look at what people are doing. Not much. Not much at all. I'll invite you to look at this right here. 68% of distributors have no plans or anything underway regarding big data and analytics. So even it holds the promise of changing the game, no one's doing anything with it. So why is that? What are we going to do about that? So that particular study goes into what exactly are we talking about. First, let's get a handle on what we're talking about with big data analytics. What does this mean? And this graph nicely illustrates what we're talking about because you already have some of these things in your own company. Structured data from your internal processes and programs, all the way out to this unstructured data, Internet of Things and sensing. Volume, velocity, and the variety of data that you get. This is what encompasses that term big data. What are we talking about? All right, so we have to filter that down because this is a lot to talk about. So then we go back to that stat I showed you, the Internet of Things and connected devices. So our researcher really honed in on that and how that can help your companies. A lot of the research that we like to do, we want to make sure our recommendations and suggestions are scalable because one size doesn't fit all. What's going to be right for your company is not going to be right for your company. So we take the feet wet, knee deep, fully immersed approach to things. And this is what we do on this particular slide. So this is what wholesalers can do to participate in that Internet of Things, right? That very small corner of big data and analytics that we discussed. So the very bottom here, is selling IoT components. It takes a look at the description, what are we talking about, what are the opportunities for that, and then what are the challenges. All the way up to probably a very high degree of value add with that providing end customer services, but that's a pretty significant investment for you. That's a high technological risk. So there's factors that you need to consider. But this is what I really like about this project. It gives you some ideas and gives you a good place to start thinking about this and how you want to incorporate it into your company. What's also great is that our research helps feed into the education department as well. We really talk to each other and try to work together to make sure that we are building resources that really complement each other. So I'm happy to say, based on this report, the education department is going to be building a course about how you can also take a look at your data and analytics and incorporate that into your strategies. So that'll be working over this next year. They'll be working on that. So, any questions? No? So data and technology too, not only are we taking a look at that as an issue into itself, but also it feeds into some of the other things that we're talking about. The DC power, right, with all these technological advances, what that means for our smart grid and integrated solutions. Emerging sales forces, what you sell and how you sell is probably going to change based on all these technologies that are coming our way. And even how you deal with your supplier partners. How do you streamline communication and talk to them? Technology is going to impact that as well. So all these studies take a look at that. They frame it in some way context and talking about technology and what it means for these certain issues. Okay. Again, we like to take just a snapshot of the industry and see what you are doing with technology. So these are technology benchmarking surveys that we do every year. The one on the left is one that we send to distributors. And this takes a look at your websites, what kind of capabilities you have, what functions you have, what you have on your website. Do you have e-commerce? And if so, who's buying what? On your right is the contractor technology survey. And we partner with IEC and NECA every year to see how contractors are utilizing technology to get their jobs done, what they expect when they come to your website, what they want to have, what they like to have, and what they don't like. So that helps us gauge their perceptions. And we do this every year so we can know any trends and look for that kind of information to share with you. So this is an example of one of the stats from that particular report. So approximately 16% of customers have placed an order through your website. So who's doing that? Mostly electrical contractors in the commercial sector, as well as the OEM buyers, which makes sense because that makes up a bulk of customer segments for distributors. So that makes sense. That all trends right. Then from other surveys that we do, we can start building a picture of what this looks like for our members. So e-commerce, our State of the Industry survey, the one with the binoculars, the guy looking at the binoculars, said that 43% of distributors were going to spend more money on their e-commerce. That makes sense because in another report we saw that 64% of respondents noted that their customers can't order product online. So it makes sense that they're going to be investing in this. So our research and our results really kind of feed into each other so we can start building this picture of what it looks like. All this information can be found on our website. We actually have a good size real estate on our website, so you look under the research tab and you can find more information about this stuff. anybody have any questions so far? So one of the things that we are really driving toward in that data and technology piece I'm talking about is looking at it from a different vantage point and really want to help you make more data-driven decisions. And one of the ways that we're doing that is we're taking some of our resources that we already have and giving them a refresher, revamping them for the 21st century. And one of those is the Online Supply Chain Scorecard. So for those of you who are familiar with it, this is what it used to look like. It was a PDF that you could download from our website and be able to use it as you wanted. Well, we've changed it now, and now it's an online portal. So if you're familiar with our PAR survey or IT expenses benchmarking survey, this is going to look very familiar to you because we've partnered with Industry Insights, the same company that conducts those surveys for us. So it's basically just taking the best of those scorecards and putting them online for you to be able to track and build reports based on your needs. I'll dig into that a little bit more here. So online portal, so you'd enter the portal and it would basically be your company scorecards. People you give access to will be able to track that and pull up that information and be for your company. Whatever you put in there is going to be confidential, those individual stats and numbers. You can choose from a whole list of current NAED manufacturer members. So anyone who's a current member of us, you can track their scorecards. You can input data in real time. If you have Wi-Fi, you're good to go. And even if you can't, there is a spreadsheet that you can download and upload later. Our current measurements are sales management, inventory management, performance measures, procure to pay, and IDA and IDW participation. That's just a dashboard. What's also very cool about this tool is you can customize your user groups. So say you have 10 different sales territories and you want a group for each of those 10 groups, you can build 10 groups for it. All you need to do is tell us who you want to belong to those groups. Because just like PAR and those other surveys, you're going to have a company administrator. So make sure we have a point person, either Industry Insights or myself can contact them so the right people have access to the right scorecards. So say somebody leaves your company, you let us know and they don't get access anymore. Or say somebody puts in a scorecard, but it's wrong or there's some errors on it, you can go in and fix it to make sure that information is going to be correct. As you can see on this particular screen, I belong to lots of different groups because I've been in there beta testing and messing around and inviting lots and lots of people to join groups and build their own scorecards. And this is just a couple of screenshots of what you will encounter once you dig in there and start building scorecards. The one on the upper left is where you start. This is how you score a new manufacturer. And as I said, you start with this drop-down box here. Input the dates that you want to score them. Select the group if that's applicable. What kind of salesperson are you speaking with? Are you talking to a direct salesperson or a sales rep? You can put their name down, what kind of products you're buying for them. And if you've done multiple scorecards for this manufacturer, you can just copy your answer from the previous scorecards. You don't have to go in and redo it if everything's pretty much the same. But you just want to make sure you have a record of it for that that time frame. Okay. And then this one on the lower right is the sales management screen. So if you don't know what you're talking about, it's hard to see here, but these are little question marks and you can hover over them and it'll ask you, it'll provide a definition of what we're asking for you to input. Any questions so far on this? Okay. Once you build your scorecards, there's a couple different reporting options for you. This is an example of the individual manufacturer report. So say you have a meeting, a booth session, and you want to bring this attention to your manufacturer partner, you can bring this report. Go ahead and share it with them. You can include notes if there's anything specific that you want to talk about. And if you want to share it internally, you can export this into a number of different formats, and that's just what I've highlighted right here, the number of different ways that you can share this or input it into your own systems. Another kind of report is the peer comparison report, and that was available on the dashboard. And here you can compare up to 5 manufacturers at once that you have scored. So it's really great. So you can do a single manufacturer or you can do up to 5. And what this does, I'll go over here, it will list the individual scores for those particular companies. This column, it will give an average of your scores. And then this last column will actually be an aggregated listing of scores for that manufacturer that has been input by other distributors. So if there's 25 other distributors that have given scores to ABB, that information will be compiled and show up in that last column. So it gives you a great way to benchmark their performance against other people. Okay. Very cool. Another part of this report is that you can do year-to-year analysis for a particular company. So this is ABB, and honestly, I just picked them because they were one of the first ones on the list when I did the drop-down box. These numbers are not real in any way, shape, or form. So if there's anybody from ABB in here, it's not real. I made it up, I promise. All right, so I happen to do year over year. So it did the last 4 quarters, measurements against the prior 4 quarters, gives you just a quick visual of what that means, and then calculates the percentages for you to take a look at that. The final part of this is that it shows you the individual scorecards that went into this report, how this was calculated for each individual company, and then gives you that average right over here in this last column. All right, so that's for companies that you have scored, that are in your system that your company can see. What about other companies, other manufacturers that you don't have as customers but are just curious about? You can see their aggregated information as well. You don't have to be a partner with them to see this information. I also wanted to show you this screen because those individual inputs do remain confidential. You can't see those individual data points. All you can see is the aggregated data. Okay? So like my company doesn't work with Allen Wire Company. I don't have any scores for them. I'm not going to be able to see that. But I can see what other people have said about them in regards to their warehouse and sales and so forth. So we just launched this tool. It's going to be available. It has its own website. There's a lot more to go through, so if you have any questions about it, I'm happy to walk you through it. Either I'll be here the rest of the conference, or we can set up a call or a time after this to go ahead and run through it a little bit more. But there's really a lot to offer, and this is just another way that we can benchmark those numbers for you to see how you're doing amongst your peers. Does anybody have, yes, John? Yes. So, well, it will go back to the company that that rep would be representing, but you can name that person. So you can pull up that scorecard and see who you talk to when you start your new scorecard. You can keep track of it that way. Yeah. Or you can even build a user group. If there's one group of reps that you deal with, you can build a user group to see what the scores are for them.